Keep it rolling over here with Pat Freiermuth. Just like last time, please raise your hand if you have a question and I will call on you. I'm going to give everybody a second to get in here.
Just to double check.
Yeah.
Just check.
All right, let's get started this time with Jim Wexel, Steelers Digest.
Okay, Pat, I wanted to ask you about the nickname Baby Gronk. I saw that Penn State gave that to you. How did that come about, and how do you feel about it?
I guess it came about just because I'm from that area. War 87, obviously Gronk played for the Patriots for a long time, grew up, kind of watching them. I hate it because, I think it's, pretty annoying that I'm being called, Baby Gronk. But yeah, I'm trying to get rid of away that from that nickname. So I don't want to be called that.
Jerry Dulac, Post-Gazette.
Hey, Pat, just talk a little bit about both your ability to catch the ball and block, being a kind of a two-dimensional tight end. And Steve Jones told me you never dropped a pass in the red zone while you were at Penn State. Can you confirm that? Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. Never dropped a pass in the red zone. That's where, plays, are there for the taking, and, you get very limited opportunities down there. So, when I got my number called and everything like that, I wanted to make the most of it. So, the red zone is time to lock in and score some points and, get touchdowns. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it's not really.
Sorry, Jeff Hawthorne, 93.7.
And how much have you been able to look at the offense? How do you feel about your fit here?
I love my fit. I think, it's perfect. I'm very happy that I'm here in Pittsburgh, and, the offense is awesome. I think it's very, complex, and, I think it's going to utilize, the talent that we have on this roster. And, from the first walkthrough today, it felt great. It felt, like I understand most that's going on.
Chris Adamski, Trib.
I've seen Coach Tomlin and even some of the assistants come up to the tight ends right away and want to see them on the sled block. I don't know, rookie camp, you probably can't do sleds and stuff like that, but did you, just from the pre-draft process, is it true the Steelers?
We can't understand you either. Your audio is doing something really weird. If you want to just text me your question, I can ask it to him. That seemed to work with Triv.
Okay.
Okay. Will Graves, Associated Press.
Pat, I'm just curious, what were your impressions of seeing Najee out there, and sort of what are the prospects of him? Have you already got a chance to meet him and maybe your other fellow rookies at all, and sort of what's the vibe that you guys are trying to get here?
Yeah, Najee's impressive. Obviously, he's a hell of a running back, and through walkthrough today, he makes very good cuts, and he's very smart with the football, and he's a really good guy. Same, I've kind of connected with him and Kendrick. Kendrick's a really good guy too, and he's very big and built, and they're both of them are very, very good guys.
Aditi Kinkabala, NFL Network.
Hey, Pat, you mentioned the offense earlier, and you said already you really like it. Well, for all of us, this is a new offensive coordinator, so we're really not familiar with what's going on. Can you tell us what about it do you like? What appeals to you? What has you feeling like, okay, this is going to be something that can really run all over the league with?
Yeah, it's complex, but it's simple in the same way. I think, Coach Canada puts, guys on the field where they can create mismatches. And I think he does a good job just kind of understanding and kind of, figuring out what the defense weaknesses are. And I kind of can see that with the looks that he gave out there for the look team today, and just kind of what he's put together, in camp so far. So, I really like the offense, and I enjoy being in it so far.
And since Thomas left me open, thank you, Thomas. Pat, one more. What sort of interaction have you had with Ben Roethlisberger so far?
Yeah, so he actually called me, the day after I got drafted. He reached out, and he's an awesome guy. He's taking me and Najee and Kendrick out to dinner tomorrow night. He texted back and forth a couple of times with us, and my locker's actually next to him. So, it's pretty cool just seeing him. When I was a young kid, being in the NFL and look, oh, that's Ben Roethlisberger. Now my lockers are next to him, so it's pretty cool and definitely surreal.
Thanks. All right, Mike Prizzuta, DVE.
Pat, your willingness to block is pretty well documented. You've been described as a guy, though, who is better physically with the ball in your hands than you are actually blocking. Would you agree with that? And how do you get that blocking part up to speed along with your receiving part?
Yeah, I think blocking is definitely something that you can, you always can get better at. That's definitely something I need to get better at. I think I was a very adequate blocker in college, and I was able to get the job done when I needed to. But here, I just want to bring back kind of the mentality I had my freshman year, just kind of go in there and block as hard as I can, and make some plays in the run game. And the plays in the pass game are going to come, and I'm not going to push for that, but I'm here to make an impact blocking right away. So that's what I'm going to pride myself on.
This is from Chris Adamski, Trib, and kind of a good follow-up to that. Did you feel as if the Steelers emphasized blocking more from tight ends in the pre-draft process as opposed to other teams? And in your time interacting with the team early, have they emphasized it more than blocking techniques with you?
Yeah, I wouldn't really say they kind of hammered it a lot, in the pre-draft process. It was more kind of get to know me. But being out here and the past couple of days and out in the field today, they definitely want the tight end that can, go out there and block and make a difference. And so, they definitely emphasize that with me, and I'm ready for the challenge.
All right, last 3 questions. Dale, Wally, DK.
Pat, as Aditi mentioned, we're learning what the Matt Canada offense might look like as well. Did you notice a lot of pre-snap motion in the playbook, and how much of that did you do at Penn State?
Yeah, there's a decent amount. Just from the first install that we did, there's a decent amount. I did not really pre-snap motion at Penn State. I kind of, sometimes with motion and depending on a look or something like that. But we would kind of at Penn State kind of get set and roll with the play we had. So it's gonna get some adjusting to, but I felt good doing it today.
Tim Benstrom.
This is a bit of a follow-up to what Jerry was talking about with the red zone, but correct me if I'm wrong. When you joined us after you got drafted, you said some of the effect that your freshman year, you did a lot of red zone stuff while Gesicki was with you as well, correct? Like you guys would come out together in the red zone, you get a lot of targets there?
Yeah, well, Mike was actually left before I got there.
Oh, Mike left before. Your freshman year, so you got a lot of red zone targets, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that something that we could see a lot of with you and Ebron together?
Oh, for sure. I think, Ebron's, he's an awesome guy, and, he's a hell of a football player. So I'm excited to learn from him and, kind of see what, is tasked for us in 12 personnel as to what we do and what we're asked to do. And I'm excited to see, that stuff.
All right, and last question from Nick Farabaugh, Pittsburgh Sports Now.
Hey, Pat, we talked a lot about your blocking, but I want to know more about your comfort level as a receiver. Obviously you played a lot of H-back, a little bit of F at Penn State. Do you kind of feel comfortable working outside? Because Matt Canada in the past has worked his tight ends all the way to the boundary as an X, as a Z. Do you think you can do that all the way from that to a Y on the interior to an H-back?
Yeah, I think, I can do it all. I think that's, kind of, that kind of prospect I was. I just kind of, making sure that, I'm very versatile and, can do it all in the field and whatever's asked, line up in that fullback position or, split out to that extra Z receiver. So, I'm ready to do whatever they ask me to do. And I'm just excited to, see, my progression in this offense.
All right. Thank you so much, Pat. Thank